In this video, I'll be walking a few miles out into the woods where I'll build an Adirondack tarp shelter and cook some hobo meals over the fire. Hello there. Made it to camp. I wonder what time it is. Oh, it's straight up noon. I brought the wireless mics out, but forgot the deck hats that go on them. And it's so windy that the audio is just so bad you can't really hear me. So I'm hoping that through the camera microphone you can hear me just fine. Anyway, you should recognize this camp. It's the same place I camped at the last two times. This time I came in clockwise on the trail instead of counterclockwise. It's a whole lot longer, way more scenic. Now, this has been 2 weeks in real time since I've been here, but 1 week YouTube time. And surprisingly, every bit of the firewood I left here is still here. I thought it'd be used up. So I'm pretty sure I have enough for tonight and tomorrow, but I might collect some more because it gives me something to do. So I brought my 10x10 square tarp and I'm going to pitch it in an Adirondack tarp shelter configuration. Paracord, and I usually don't run a ridge line unless I want like an A-frame or something like that, but this one requires it. I'll run it between these two trees, and then I'll show you how to set that up. I really don't like this paracord. I prefer something less slippery and more rigid. This is too stretchy. It's cheap paracord. All right, so I've got a ridge line about shoulder height with a couple of prussiks on it. So a prusik knot slides freely until you put pressure on it, and then it's taut. It's tight. So I use that. Well, I'll show you how I use that. I'm going to take one corner of the tarp, put it over the ridge line. This is too stretchy. I want it tighter, but it is what it is. I'm going to go 2 tie outs from the corner. Boy, I'm disappointed in how saggy this is. And then I'll use a toggle through the tie out and my prusik knot. Then we'll just tighten these up. I I had to stake out the back corner. It's so windy out here. It blew the whole tarp this way, then it blew the whole tarp that way. It's going to be a cold night, I can tell. So what we have is these prusik knots are tight now, and we have this triangle. What you can do is use a stick and pull it out like this, and it's like a porch. Or if it's raining, bad weather, you can bring it down and stake it to the ground, then you have some additional shelter. What I'm going to do though, we're not supposed to have any weather tonight, I mean like rain or snow, is I'm going to go under the ridge line and then over it, and we'll end up with the three-sided shelter. Let me show you the back part. So I staked out the back corner, and I'll go 2 tie outs from the back corner on each side. Make it tight, and then stake those out. Then we'll take this back corner, tie it out there, and flip it under. I'm going to tighten this up a little bit, and that'll give us a little bit of a ground sheet in there. Then we'll stake out these final 2 corners to make a 3-sided shelter. It's fair protection from the rain and the wind generally. We have 20-mile-an-hour winds right now, so it's a bit much for this tarp. And really, these 2 trees should be a lot farther apart, but this is what I've got to work with, so I'll make it work. Well, I seem to have misplaced my paracord, and it's so near the color of the leaves, I can't find it. I set it on the ground knowing I would remember where I set it, and I forgot. Fortunately, I always carry bank line in my repair kit, so I went through the top loop on this triangle, through the center loop on the tarp, and this will tie that flap down, pull the tarp out to give me more volume inside, and just tied it off to this tree. Found it. It was on the ground under the camera tripod. Good, at least I'm not leaving any trash out here. That feels pretty good. I like this. Protected on 3 sides with a wide open view, and if the fire's still going, I'll get to watch that as I fall asleep. But probably not if it's still this windy. Okay, I've got all my gear under the tarp, all spread out, food and water and everything. And I brought insulated booties and an insulated balaclava for tonight. We should be somewhere in the 30s right now, down into the teens tonight. All right, so everything's done for camp. I'm gonna have a snack for lunch. And I brought my Gobi thermometer with me this time, which has a Bluetooth app to the phone. And right now it's showing, I was just holding it, so this can't be this, maybe it's this warm, 47.8 degrees, 42.9% humidity. This will keep a record over, well, it looks like the app will keep a record over a year. What I'm interested in is what it gets down to tonight. I think in town we were supposed to be down to 18, so it should be colder than that. I'll hang this somewhere outside the tarp, and then in the morning I'll know how cold we got. You know, it's interesting that all that firewood is still here. I mean, yeah, I camp a lot of times without making a fire, not in the winter though, but it makes me assume that no one's been here in 2 weeks, which is another reason I love this campsite now. Just love it all the more. I know I said I had enough firewood, but I don't think you could ever really have enough firewood. So I'm going to go for some of the thicker limbs off this tree so I could get more coals tonight for the fire. Okay, just that one limb, more than I need for sure. I forgot how heavy oak is. Oh, that's gonna make a great bed of coals. Look at the width on these logs. That's amazing. Okay, so I've been thinking about it, and there's only one thing missing from making this the best winter campsite I've ever had, and that's water. Everything's pretty dry out here, and you have to bring in your own water. So I had 33 and a half pounds in my pack today, and almost 10 pounds of that was water. Other than that, this is the perfect site. You're on this ridge line with awesome views. You've got access to really good firewood and plenty of it. And nobody else is coming here, which really surprises me. I mean, we're really not that far out of St. Louis. There's just people all around here. I don't get why nobody's coming here. So I thought about keeping this place a secret, but that's not right. I'm going to share it with friends. So here's where this campsite is. It's in Cuivre River State Park. We're on the North Cuivre River Loop. Okay, today we went clockwise on the trail, which is maybe, I don't know how long it is, 4 or 5 miles maybe. And you will pass another campsite at the bottom of a valley next to a stream, which is a great place to camp in the spring. Although, when you're down in the bottom of a valley, you get all that dew and condensation at night, but it's really pretty. And then this would be the next campsite. There are only the 2 on this trail. But if you go counterclockwise, it's a much shorter hike, and this is the first campsite you come to. And if you're here, I think the last video or the one before that, I showed you the Dewey Cemetery. It's maybe 300 yards from where I'm camped right now. The firewood I'm getting is in between there and here, closer to there. And right outside of camp is the old Dewey well. You'll see this piece of rotted plywood on the ground, and if you lift it up, you'll see the well, which every time I've looked has had water. It's maybe 8 or 10 feet deep, and I really could draw water from that. If I had like a pot on a rope, I could drop it in there and draw water out. I just don't want to bring pots and stuff. It's a whole, I'm bringing so much already. But anyway, that's where this camp is. If you're local and you want to enjoy it, I'll do my best to keep it stocked with firewood for you. So I brought some wine and a cigar to enjoy after dinner tonight, but the way this wind is whipping around, I really don't feel comfortable having a fire going before or when I go to sleep. It just, there's all these dead leaves, and even though hardwood generally doesn't kick out too many embers, it can, especially in a wind like this. So what I'm going to do is enjoy that cigar and this wine now while the fire is burning down to coals, and that way I can have just a nice banked bed of coals when I go to bed, if it doesn't burn out completely by then. But we'll have to have enough coals to get through dinner. It's hobo meals for tonight's dinner and tomorrow's breakfast. This is when I wish I had room in that pack for a table. Cheers. Although this log works out pretty well too. It's snowing on me. Not much, but it snowed this morning too, just before I got here. That's not in the forecast. I brought a second cigar with me, which is a good thing since I didn't need to work on firewood today. And it's always good to have extras. I am the only one out here. Thousands of acres, and I'm the only one, and it's just amazing. It's fantastic. It's so quiet and peaceful, It's warm enough for a few of the woodpeckers to still be active, and they're keeping me entertained. Got a good fire going. It may not look like it because I put some logs on it recently, but it's going to be a lot of coals. Hopefully I've got coals for the morning's fire. I was thinking about it, and in my youth I hiked a lot at the Smokies, and then a bit, you know, in the Sierras and the Rockies in Colorado, and it was wonderful. Now you just can't get into the national parks at all anymore because they're so crowded. And you come out to a place like this, it's close and convenient and nice and pretty, and you have it all to yourself. You can't even get into a national park hardly at all anymore. I like it. Life is good. Well, unfortunately, I had a full cup of wine sitting on the log, and it fell off, and of course all of it spilled. So I've got to, even if I'm going to carry it in my hand, I am bringing that little table the next time. Logs are nice, but tables are better. Okay, so it's time to get dinner started. A hobo meal. Apparently had to look this up. They're called hobo meals because during the Depression, hobos had the ability to forage for roots and wild edibles and mix it with vegetable scraps and meat scraps, put it together in a pot and make a meal. So foil packet meals are pretty much the same. You could combine anything you want and make it into a meal in a foil packet. I'm notorious for burning these, by the way. What I've got tonight is I cut a couple of potatoes into bite-sized pieces and parboiled those. And then I rough chopped half an onion and I put it in a bowl with some stew meat and peas and carrots, lightly coated that in oil, and then added some salt, pepper, and garlic, mixed it all together and put it in this packet. I'm hoping that this comes out good and not burned. Baked potatoes are my worst. I've had those where they were just pure charcoal. And also, whenever I buy the ingredients for cooking out here, I always have more in a package than I can use, and so I leave the rest for Jackie. And she sent me a picture of the meal that she made with the stew meat, and I'll be right back. I have to look it up to see what it was, but I'll put a picture up now. So she sauteed the stew meat with mushrooms and onions, rice, and teriyaki sauce, like a stir fry. And in the picture, it looks better than my meal, that's for sure. I forgot to mention that I wrapped these first in parchment paper and then double wrap them in aluminum foil, and that should prevent it from leaking as I flip it over. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes, which I'm guessing is going to be about right. We'll find out. Boy, it smells really good. Uh-oh. Parchment paper's burned a little bit. But the food is not burned. This looks really good. Oh yeah, it does. A warm meal sounds really good right now. Well, a hot meal. That's it. Oh, that is good. All right, I'm gonna dig in. Catch you in a bit. Well, the beef turned out medium rare, so I call that dinner a success. That was really good. Hit the spot on a chilly day like today. I'm gonna consolidate the fire. Start working on these coals, and I'll bank the coals later in hopes that we have a few left in the morning to get the fire going for breakfast. That's a lot of wood. All of it's oak. It's going to make some great coals. They're going to burn for a long time. What a wonderful fire. All right, it's coming down. It's a rain-snow mix. And the wind's really kicking up. It's only 6 o'clock, but it's, oh, look at that. It's a lot of snow. Oh, wow. This was not in the forecast. Okay, so I'm gonna take some shelter. Maybe early, but it's better than being out there. I'll sleep in my wool socks, my base layer, this hoodie. I'll pull this balaclava on and it'll cinch up so that just my nose is exposed. Get these booties on. And then I would normally sleep with my water bottles upside down on my boots. So when it freezes, the ice is at the bottom. And in the morning, I have water available at the top. But since we're gonna get down in the teens, I'm gonna sleep with my water bottles, all of my electronics, and the egg that I have for breakfast under my quilt with me. I don't know if you can see the snow, but it's blowing into the tarp. I hope I stay dry. All right, so as I toss and turn during the night, I have to readjust everything, of course. So it's always a struggle. Get these out of the snow, and hopefully this night goes well. I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning. 17 degrees right now, according to the Govee. And we had a bit of snow, not that much. There's actually just a bit coming down right now. I'm not worried about accumulation or anything like that. But it's a chilly night. Probably should have let these sticks burn down more into coals so I could get a good place for this pot. I'm just ready for coffee. Coffee time, yeah. Man, I'm trying to pack up. It's so cold out here. It's painful. It's gonna take a bit. We've got just this light powder coming down, but it's been coming down all morning. Everything's wet. So I'm really curious to see how breakfast is going to turn out. What I did was I cut some potatoes up and I cooked them, boiled them until they were done. And then I took a pound of sausage kind of browned that in a skillet until it was done. So everything here is already cooked. It's frozen now, but saw this recipe online and it sounded really good. I'm just not sure if I've got the skills to make it pull it off. So what I'm going to do is this is the sausage and potatoes. I'm going to make a hole in the middle. And then I've got some butter. Boy, my fingers are frozen. It's hard to do this. So I've got this butter in here. And then this is aged cheddar, really sharp. I'll use that later. Then I've got this egg, which I slept with last night. Kept it warm and cozy so it wouldn't freeze. I tried eggs one time and didn't think about them freezing overnight. You can't cook a frozen egg. I'm a little leery about doing this in my lap. This could go wrong in so many ways. Just so long as it's not my wine last night and how it spilled all over the place. Okay, success. A little bit of shell never hurt anyone. Okay, so there's my egg. And that's all that has to really be cooked is the egg. So from what I read, it's 5 to 10 minutes. Well, that's a big time frame. I'm going to go with more towards the 10 just because everything else is frozen right now. And I hope that's the last time in my life I have to sleep with an egg. And then I'm going to wrap this up and we'll put it on the coals. Wait about 10 minutes and should be breakfast. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. Wouldn't a table be convenient right now? Sorry, I'm thinking about that a lot on this trip. Let's see what we've got here. I'm really curious about this one. So now what I'm going to do is open it up. That parchment paper just doesn't really take that heat that well, does it? Okay. That egg isn't even close to being cooked. Well, at this point, what I was going to do is open it up, put the cheese on it, and let it melt. I think I'm just going to put that in there now since it's frozen too. And this is definitely going back on the coals. I don't know for how long. Okay. And then salt and pepper I was going to add just before I ate it, but I'm just going to do everything right now. And hopefully the next time I open this packet, it's ready to eat. Boy, I really thought that egg would be done. Okay, so these coals aren't very hot, not like what I had going last night. And the reason why I did this intentionally is because I don't want to be here all morning waiting for this to go cold. And since this is a dry camp, I really don't have the water to extinguish the coals. So I'm thinking maybe I'll go, based on that egg, it didn't even look like it had started to cook. So I'm thinking maybe 15 minutes, and these coals are only going to grow colder. There we go. We'll see what we get. Boy, not being able to break down camp with gloves on. is brutal. So it's still 17, but now it's breezy. Woo! Okay, let's hope it's done this time. Actually, lost track of time. That was more like 20 more minutes. It's got to be done. It was sizzling, I can tell you that. Doesn't feel that warm. Okay. Oh, that parchment paper has become one with my breakfast, it looks like. Now, there we go. Oh, good. It would look better on a plate, but there we go. To me, that actually looks good. And the egg, oh, that's a mess. The egg looks really good, too. Oh, well. I'm out in the woods, who cares? All right. Sausage, eggs, potatoes, cheese, salt and pepper. The egg's not quite done, but yeah, that's pretty good. If I had it like over easy, that's kind of what it looks like right here. I could live with that. These taste so much better than they look. All right, I'm gonna polish off breakfast. Coffee's all gone. I'll work on burning these coals through, finish packing up, get back to you then. Hello there. Before I say goodbye, I wanted to show you what we had at home. Not that far from where I camped. I got really lucky. Well, another fun camp in the books. I really enjoyed this one. The weather brings, that cold brings its own challenge and makes it more fun actually. I really enjoy this spot out here. Next time I come out, I'm going to have to definitely work on building up that wood pile. I burned quite a bit last night. I'm not sure if I'm going to come here every camp this winter, but I may. I mean, it's a great spot, and I'm really enjoying it. Well, thanks for coming along with me. I hope you had a good time. I enjoyed having you guys here with me. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.